Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Joelle and I resell on the platforms Poshmark, Depop, Mercari, and whatnot. And today I have a what sold video for you all on Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari from the last 2 weeks. If you are subscribed to me and have kept up with my past couple of videos, you know that I am right in the middle of my law school finals. This past week, I did take a break from posting on YouTube because I had 3 finals and I still have one more, but it is not for a few days. So I am really excited to focus on reselling for a little bit before I go back to hitting the books and studying for my property final. Typically for these what sold videos, I will put my sales into categories and talk about specific consumer trends. This time, almost all of my sales from the past 2 weeks fit into just 2 categories. So I figured I would add in those few extra sales that weren't going to be included. So for this video, I will talk about every single sale from Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari from the last 2 weeks. The first week of sales, I got the chance to list a lot more frequently, but this past week with my finals, I have hardly been able to list. So my sales were pretty slow in terms of volume, but my average sales price was a lot higher compared to the past couple of videos I've posted. So I'm really excited to share some higher end sales with you all. In the first category that I have featured a lot of Poshmark sales. It is a fancy holiday category, and the first sale I have to share with you all in this category is this All Saints Tierney Corinna slip dress that sold on an $85 counter offer from the buyer. This sold within just 1 week of listing, and I had it listed for $125. So because it was such a quick sale, I was willing to part ways with it for a little bit less, and I paid a little more for it than I usually would for other items. I thrifted this for just $14.98, and it is in my most recent thrift haul if you want to check it out. I did find another really great new with tags All Saints dress as well. But whenever I see this type of midi slip dress, I will almost always pick it up depending on the brand, because it is a style of dress that has definitely been trending in 2022, and I think that trend will move on into 2023 as well. So after fees and cost of goods, I profited $53.02 for this All Saints dress. Next up was a new to me higher end brand. For $100 and free shipping, I sold this Camilla silk mini skirt. This was a negotiation that I made with a buyer on Poshmark. I had this skirt listed, I want to say for $150. It might have been $125 though. And this person offered me $50 on the skirt. I will show you all the sequence of counter offers that we made to each other. The person definitely was trying to get a good deal on it. My cost of goods for the skirt was just $1.49, but this is a very recent style. It's on sale on Revolve for $238, and suggested comps had me selling it for around $100. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I sold it for what it is worth. I finally told the buyer that $100 was the lowest I would go, and the person asked me if I could do free shipping with $100. I figured that that would be a good deal for the both of us because I would still make a really good profit. So after fees and cost of goods, I profited $70.84 for this Camilla silk skirt. Next up is a holiday staple piece. For $28, I sold this vintage Le Suit plaid blazer. I bought this for $2.99 at one of my favorite thrift stores over the summer. And even though it was out of season, I made sure to add a lot of Christmas and holiday style keywords to my listing because I figured that somebody would buy it by the time the holidays came around. Sometimes blazers will sit for a while for me on Poshmark especially, but I will pick them up if it is a good enough brand or style and if my cost of goods are low enough. I've definitely sold a couple, but there are some that are still listed in my closet that have been listed for over 6 months. But I was really happy to see this blazer sold right before the holidays, and after fees and cost of goods, I profited $17.69 for this blazer. Next up was a retail arbitrage find from a Nordstrom Rack clearance sale. For $35, I sold this ASOS design snakeskin midi dress. ASOS can be a tough brand to sell, but this did retail for $68 and it had the Nordstrom Rack return tag on it. I still listed it as new with tags based off of other listings that I have seen from Nordstrom Rack, but I made sure to disclose that this was a Nordstrom Rack return tag rather than an ASOS tag, just to prevent a case from being opened. I had this listed for $50 and I sent an offer for $40 plus discounted shipping, so I thought that the $35 counter offer was really reasonable, and I paid $8.98 for this dress, which was definitely on the higher side, especially for ASOS. but this ended up selling within just 2 weeks of listing. When it comes to retail arbitrage finds, I always try to get items that are in demand and trending because those are the items that will sell quick. And when it comes to quick flips, I am more than okay with paying up for them. So even though my cost of goods were a little bit higher, it was definitely worth it because I got the quick flip on this dress. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited $19.02 for this ASOS dress. Next up was a surprisingly quick sale. For $30, I sold this Preston & York hot pink silk blazer. I originally thrifted this blazer for myself with the intention to resell it after I was done wearing it, but I didn't really like the way that it fit and I didn't really know how to style it. So I figured since I only paid $6.98 for it, I would be able to at least make my money back and a little bit of profit. Suggested comps had me selling this blazer at around $25 or less. I decided to take the risk and list it for $45. And I made sure to include some really relevant keywords. My two biggest keywords that I made sure to list were Barbiecore and Legally Blonde because of that hot pink color and the fact that it is a really cute blazer. It just screamed Elle Woods to me and it had that Barbie hot pink color. So I thought that they were the perfect keywords to add to the listing. I sent out an offer for $36 plus discounted shipping and I received a $30 counter offer, which like that ASOS dress, I thought was really reasonable. And after fees and cost of goods, within just 2 weeks of listing, I profited $17.02 for this blazer. Next up was a Depop sale, and for $21, I sold this Jack Be Quick Easter cardigan. Depop is not my most reliable platform, but I have noticed that it brings in a lot of full price sales and a lot of quick sales as well. This was a cardigan that was not listed on my other platforms, which is very rare. I think I only have a couple of listings that are just solely listed on Depop, but I only paid $3.98 for this cardigan, and I figured that I kind of had to model it because there were so many intricate details to it that it would be really difficult to capture those details on a mannequin or on the white wall that I typically take pictures on. But I had this listed for $30 initially, and it racked up a lot of likes, and it was in a couple of people's bags. So I decided to discount it 30% off at $21, and it ended up selling at that price. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited $13.60 for this cardigan. All right, that is it for my fancy and holiday category. My next category I have that racked up a lot of sales is graphic tees and sports apparel. If you have been subscribed to me for a while, you might have heard that I absolutely adore selling any sort of college gear or professional sports gear. It's really simple to find keywords for these items, and I always seem to sell them fairly quick or for a decent price. But my first sale in this category to go over was a full price Poshmark sale. For $30, I sold this Disney Parks 2019 full zip jacket. I got this jacket at a fill a bag sale. In full disclosure, I am terrible at keeping track of my inventory. When I go to this fill a bag sale, my cost of goods will range from 50 cents per item to around $2 per item, depending on if I find other items outside of the fill a bag sale in that thrift store. And I go to this sale often, so it is really difficult for me to track when I got a certain item or which trip I got it from. So my go-to, if I can't remember or if I don't have a video on it, is to put my cost of goods at $1.50. This jacket had a little bit of pilling on it and some wash wear, but the graphic on the back was really cool, and I actually posted my cover shot as the back of that jacket, and it got a lot of attention on Poshmark and Mercari. And after fees and cost of goods for this full price sale, I profited $22.50. This next Poshmark sale was a graphic tee that I sourced on an Instagram thrift page. I purchased it for $10 shipped, and it arrived with flaws that were not disclosed and not shown in the photos. I was really disappointed, and it sat in my inventory for a really long time before being listed. But for $32 in discounted shipping, I sold this large heart graphic tee. I'm going to include the tag because I have no clue how to pronounce this brand, but it is a fairly higher end brand. They are really famous for their Converse that have this little heart on them. And when I saw the graphic tee starting at $6 plus $4 shipping, I figured it would be worth it to bid on the item because this was a trusted seller. She definitely shipped it promptly, but the item did not arrive in the best condition. It had pit stains and ink stains that were not disclosed in the listing. And if I saw the shirt out in the wild, I probably wouldn't pick it up unless I got it for free. But I figured since I purchased it on Instagram and I could not get a refund, that I would finally go ahead and list it. I disclosed all of the flaws and included a lot of pictures of them just to make sure that there's no case opened up against me. And I still ended up listing the shirt for $40 based on suggested comps. As a pleasant surprise, this t-shirt got a lot of attention on both Poshmark and Mercari, and it ended up selling for $32 within less than 2 weeks of listing. So after fees and cost of goods, I was happy to profit $13.88 for this flawed item. Next up is another Disney item. Disney is one of my favorite brands to source. I don't find it a lot in the thrift stores, and I usually won't pay more than $5 per item. But if you could find some good pieces, it is definitely worth picking up. It sells really well on Mercari, and I've also learned that it sells well on Poshmark. So for $20, I sold this Disney Minnie Mouse floral pullover. This was listed longer than I expected. I want to say that I found it around the springtime, maybe last March or April, and it actually sold on Mercari a couple of months ago for $22. But the buyer immediately requested to cancel. So at that point, I was willing to part ways with it for a lot less, and I was really happy to receive a $20 offer, and it was on a $30 listing, so I thought it was really reasonable, especially because I only paid $2.98 for this pullover, and after fees and cost of goods, I profited $13.02 for this Disney item. Next up, I will talk about some college apparel. For $20 on Poshmark, I sold this Nike K-State Windbreaker pullover. Now, again, if you all keep up with my videos, you know I really enjoy selling college and professional sports gear. I especially like to pick it up when it is around the postseason time, especially for big sports like basketball and football. And if you do not know, we are just a couple weeks away from bowl game season. K-State is in the Sugar Bowl against Alabama. They're having a really successful season, and I do not think it is a coincidence that it sold right before the bowl game. I think I sold it to someone who was looking for some K-State apparel before the big game, whether they're watching it somewhere else or they're actually going to the game. I had this listed for $35 and I received a $20 offer. There are times when I would not accept it, but this had been listed for a while. I want to say I bought it in maybe May or June. So I figured if I did not accept it before this bowl game, it might end up sitting for a lot longer in my closet. I also only paid 98 cents for this K-State item, and so I figured that I would still make a decent profit and I could give a fan a really good deal. So after fees and cost of goods, I profited $15.02 for this Nike K-State pullover. Next up, we have another Depop sale and a professional sports team sale. On a $25 offer sent by the buyer, I sold this Manchester United full zip jacket. This was listed for $30 on Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari, and I was actually willing to sell this for $1 on Whatnot because I received this as a gift from my sister. She was clearing out her closet and gave me a few items for free to sell, but let's just say I am happy that nobody wanted it on Whatnot because I ended up making a decent profit on Depop. So after fees and cost of goods, I profited $22.50. And I want to give you all a little tip that I've heard from other people, whether it's on Facebook pages, other YouTube videos, or Instagram pages. If you are selling on Depop, offers that people send are not binding, and so they do not have to pay. So I've been inspired by other sellers to send a little follow-up message after accepting that person's offer. I'll include a screenshot so that you all can see a message that I would typically send. It basically just lets the person know that you have accepted the offer, and I just let them know that once they do pay for the item, I will be able to ship it out either the same day or the following morning. I don't know if some people aren't aware that their offers aren't binding and they still need to pay, or if people just need a little reminder that they got a really good deal for a price that they wanted, but it has definitely helped me boost my sales on Depop, and I hope that it does for you all too if you try to send that message. Next up is another Depop sale that did occur after I sent that message to the buyer. For $15, I sold this Drake-themed Big Little Reveal t-shirt. I had this shirt listed for $25 and it was free to me. So with my cost of goods being $0, I was pretty much willing to part ways with this for any price as long as I was making some sort of profit. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited $12.51 for this t-shirt. All right, we have one more sale to go over in this graphic tee and sports category, and then I will talk about honorable mentions. Those are just those extra sales that didn't really fit to any categories. But for $24 on Mercari, I sold this Friends sweatshirt. I will show you a close-up of the graphic on this shirt. If you do not know, this is from a Friends episode where Ross dressed up as an armadillo. This was a Christmas themed episode, so I tried my best to include some relevant keywords, and I was really happy to see it sell right before the holidays. And on Mercari, I usually forget to send out offers. I try to go through my listings at least once a week and look at my most liked items. This sweatshirt had a couple of likes on it, so I figured I would send a 20% off offer. This was listed for $30, so I offered $24 for it, and the buyer ended up accepting. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited $17.91 for this Friends sweatshirt. All right, as I said before, I will now talk about honorable mention sales that didn't really fit into those two categories, but they were my 4 remaining sales from these past 2 weeks, so I figured I would share them with you all. And first up, we have a full price Depop sale. For $40, I sold this hand-sewn floral apron. I bought this apron for $3.49 at a Memorial Day weekend sale at my favorite thrift store. I listed it pretty soon after I bought it, and I was kind of surprised that it wasn't a quicker sale. And it got a lot of likes on Depop and Poshmark, but it wasn't in anybody's bags. Depop does let you know not only how many likes you have on a listing, but also if it is in anybody's bags and how many people have it in their bag. So when it comes to discounting items on Depop, and because you can't send offers, I will only discount items when people do have something in their bag. So because this apron was not in anybody's bag on Depop, I ended up keeping the item at its full asking price of $40. And it finally sold this past week for $3.49. I thought that this apron was a really good pickup. It had the cutest ruffles on it and the coolest details, and I was so happy to see it get sold for full price. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited $30.76 for this apron. This next sale is a very unique sale I have to share with you all because it did not come from Poshmark, Depop, or Mercari. It actually came from eBay. So for $20 via a promoted listing, I sold this Simply Vera Wang Royal Blue Winter Coat. If you all are subscribed to me, you have probably noticed that I do not include eBay sales anymore. That is because I have not listed an item on eBay for a couple of months. I started on the platform probably over the summer, and it did bring me a decent amount of sales, but I was not a fan of the listing process. I use One Shop as my virtual assistant, and they do have eBay as a platform you can cross-list to, but one thing I've noticed about both One Shop and Flip is that it does not include all of the details of an eBay listing. So you can plug in the required portions of an eBay listing, but there are a lot of extra and optional things you can add to a listing, such as material, length, occasion, and so much more. Those are definitely features of your listing that are essential to making frequent sales on eBay. And I just wasn't a fan of having to go back to eBay and individually add those extra portions to each listing. So instead, I just have Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. I use One Shop to cross-list to Depop and Mercari, and I absolutely love it. And Whatnot has been a great additional income for me as well, so I am okay with just having those 4 platforms. But nevertheless, I still have my eBay listings up. I figured it wouldn't hurt to keep up the ones that I posted over the summer, and I ended up promoting all of them, so I was really happy to see this sale. It ended up selling full price at $20, and I only paid 98 cents for it. And Simply Vera Wang is typically not a brand that I would pick up. If you do not know, it is a brand that is sold at Kohl's, and because it is sold at a large department store, the resale value is also not the best. However, since it is a winter coat, I bought it over the summer, and I was really hoping that it would sell around this time when the weather is starting to cool down. So if I saw this jacket again for 98 cents, I would definitely pick it up. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited $14.77 for this one eBay sale. Next up was a Poshmark sale that happened right before I started recording this video. For $46, I sold this Sac Ventura convertible backpack. The Sac is a brand that is almost always marked up at my thrift stores, but I managed to find it at another store for just $4.99. And sold comps were pretty decent. I want to say that they were $40+, but this did have some wear on it. I still managed to have it listed for $60, so when I sent a $48 plus discounted shipping offer, the buyer ended up counter offering $46. So I actually ended up making a couple of cents more than I would have if the person would have accepted my offer. So obviously I did not hesitate to accept that counter offer, and this sold within just 1 month of listing, and after fees and cost of goods, I profited $31.81 for this Bolo brand purse. All right, we have one more sale to go over. On Mercari for $19, I sold this Joe Fit golf polo. I wouldn't necessarily call Joe Fit a Bolo brand, but I do like to pick up any sort of golf items, whether it's polos, shorts, or pants. I have had a lot of luck selling women's golf items, and this shirt actually sold within just a couple of days of listing. I had it listed for $25, so I thought that $19 was a really reasonable offer, and this was a fill a bag sale find that I do not remember what my cost of goods was. So like that Disney Parks jacket, I just put my cost of goods at $1.50, and after fees and cost of goods, I profited $14.55 for this sleeveless golf polo. All right, we have now gone over all of my sales from the past 2 weeks. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I did have my finals week this past week, and I still have one more to go. So I wasn't able to list as consistently as I wanted to, and so I was really happy to get a lot of higher profit sales these past 2 weeks. And I am doing something that I haven't done for a while in my What Sold videos. I am actually going to tell you all my earnings from the past 2 weeks with these sales. This does not include my whatnot sales, and my goal for 2023 is to actually make a full-time income. So I'm hoping that in this month of December, I am able to make out more of a full-time schedule that will also work with my full-time law school schedule. But in these past 2 weeks, again, not including my whatnot sales, I made a total earning of $400.42, which pretty much puts my profits at $200 per week from these past 2 weeks. So obviously that is more of a part-time income rather than a full-time income, but I'm still really happy with those numbers because these past 2 weeks I have not been near as consistent as I want to be, and studying for these law school finals has been a full-time job for me. So since I have over a month off for winter break, I am hoping to bring those numbers up and to list a lot more frequently. But that is all that I have for this video today. If you want to see more reseller content like this, I would greatly appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. I am now posting videos every Tuesday, and every other week I post a What Sold video so you all can keep up with what is currently selling on Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. But now that we're at the end of this video, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you for the next video.